I've been meaning to do a Valiant video for some time, but I'm going to keep it simple and I'm not going to do a Valiant video. I'm going to do a Bloodshot video. Simply just do Bloodshot right here for you folks. Hey, I'm Gregor with Blackout Entertainment. Big old comic fan, been one since I was a young lad, and I've got about 25 years of fandom in me, if you will. So, I might just have a few knowledgeable thoughts and notions of history of the stuff. Basically, to give you a rundown of my background, if anybody's curious. Okay, let's give you a rundown of Bloodshot while we're at it. Uh, Bloodshot. There's about two different incarnations of Bloodshot, and the original one was sort of like a mafioso um, exterminator, and in my personal opinion, wasn't quite as cool. But I do like the classic style of artwork, and I can definitely appreciate it for what it was, and it had a nice long run. Then we move on. That was the 90s, by the by. We move on to the 2010s. Around 2012, they did a relaunch of Valiant Comics, and he was one of the initial flagship titles, I believe. And if you're not reading Valiant, you should really keep up, especially with things like Exo Manowar, Ninja K, Bloodshot, Archer and Armstrong, Quantum and Woody. There's a lot of good variety right there, folks. Shadow Man, Dr. Mirage. There's a lot of really cool stuff here. So what they're doing right now, though, is kind of like a remake of it's almost like a remake of Wolverine meets Captain America, slightly type thing. He's got nanites in his blood that heal him from wounds, but he has to sort of remake up the mass by like eating a cow or something. Is kind of what they were doing. And that the first take was done by Dwayne Swerzinger, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. I'm not quite sure. It was a lot of fun, and it was really nice to see like Bart Sears do some artwork on there. I'm a fan of that old school stuff, and see some good Clayton Henry did a great job. They had the Harbinger War that they're going to make a movie out of. Second one, I believe, maybe the third one in this new deal they have going on with Sony for the Valiant Comics. Bloodshot, who's going to be played by Vin Diesel, is going to get himself a movie. That could be cool. That could go hit or miss. It could be great. It could be bad. Who knows? I'm faithful that they'll do good. They just released the Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe web series for the folks interested. Go ahead and check that out. Um, the next take, I'm going to move right along, on Bloodshot was Bloodshot Reborn, and they've kind of taken it from there. A lot of issues by Jeff Lemire, and boy, oh boy, are they doing really good. And I've really enjoyed the Miko Cyan artwork, and I've really enjoyed the Louis LaRosa artwork. Not much of a Doug Braithwaite fan. I have to be the bearer of honest truth. I try to speak the truth on all my opinions. There's just something about his art that doesn't really catch my eye. It's not that great. It's kind of like an unfinished Alex Ross painting. It's not painted, but it has that feel. So it's kind of it's not doing it for me. Just a personal opinion. But basically, they've decided that they were going to go from doing the '80s style of action movie that they were originally doing with Bloodshot, and they're going to take it to the next level. And instead of having him be like an emotionless character, give him a lot of more depth. And they've done a very good job, might I add, so far. I've really been enjoying it. They kind of gave him a gal, Magic, um, who he was first like sort of like the protector of, and then he was also having a thing with Kay McHenry, who was the Geomancer at the time. During the Valiant storyline, she got killed. They had to get a new Geomancer. Geomancer in Valiant is like the protector of the Earth. And sorry for any spoilers. Apologies to anybody who hasn't already read a few-year-old storyline, but definitely go check it out if you haven't. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff. And basically, they've given him a kid by now with the Bloodshot stuff, and it's just keeps on being good. Really, in my personal opinion, that and Exo Manowar are the best things coming out from Valiant right now. And I probably might do an Exo Manowar. I might do a Ninja K. I might do a whoever else video at some point. But I just figured I'd go ahead and hit the Bloodshot on the head since he has a movie coming out, and the series is just so good every single month. And so go ahead and go up to your local comic book store, and don't just go up there for free comic book day. Support the damn place because you're the ones who keep them around, and it's such a good medium and such a good thing to have kids be interested in. And I think that's one of the things that's wrong right now these days is all the digital shit, and nobody going outside and nobody taking the time to get invested in something. Like we used to get invested in that stuff. We used to love our comics and we loved our stuff. So basically, all I'm saying is, folks, get yourself out there, get off your fat ass, and excuse me, and go enjoy yourself some Bloodshot comics from Valiant. And the movie will be out soon if that's your little forte. I'm not so much of an adaptation fan. I really prefer the things in the original medium. I mean, look what happened with Marvel. Their comics aren't near as good as they used to be, and I blame Disney. Do, 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 do. But I'm just one man. I mean, everybody who's a Star Wars fan would probably agree on that note, though. And you notice it's just a sort of a bastardization of what happens. So we don't need that. It's a good thing that DC wasn't quite as successful with their movies right now because that's the reason their comics have been so good. They've really worked hard, and also the same thing with the sort of the lack of success with the New 52 or the backlash from people, and it just keeps going on with Marvel right now that they're having that. But Valiant is keeping it strong, keeping it tight knit, and keeping it about the stories and about the characters. And it seems to me that they do a lot of single character stories as opposed to teams. So keep it up, guys. Keep it up. Keep up the good quality. And it was a real letdown to see Dinesh Shamdasani not be with the company. I believe he might be with them in some facet, and I really hope so. So we're gonna have to hope that it was a big hit in the nuts to any fan of their stuff. So you fanboys out there, give it a like and a subscribe. Let's have a conversation below, and you know the routine. And have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. Adios.